Okay, so we are looking at what's called a composite figure. Let's look at number 9 here. Now, it's called a composite figure because it's made of more than one figure. Any figures that they make have to be made with the figures that you can find on the reference sheet, so that's good. What they want us to do here is they want us to find the area of the figure. And they're going to ask you one of two things, either to find perimeter of the figure or the area. In this case, we're looking for the area of the figure. Next time, we will do perimeter of the figure. So I have here a figure, and I need to look at that figure and break it down into what it's made out of. So I'll notice that it is made out of a triangle on one side. Here we have a triangle. And on the other side, there's half of a circle. Now, this is called a semicircle. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this problem into two separate problems and solve them and then combine them. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write the formulas. So the formula for a triangle is 1/2 base times height. And the formula for a semicircle is the same as a circle, except at the very end we're going to divide by 2 because there's only half of a circle, right? Now the next steps are for me to put the numbers in, to substitute in the values. Now we've talked about this a lot of times, and this is really where you should spend your most of your time. You should spend your patience here, going slow with this, not trying to rush it. So when I'm looking at this triangle, I need to find a base and I need to find a height. Well, I can see that the triangle only goes this far, right? And so if the whole thing is 20, the height of the triangle is not 20. I know that the radius is 10, and the radius can go any direction. So for instance, from here to here, that's also 10. Okay, I'm setting a bad example. Don't draw in the book. All right, all the way across from here to here, that's going to be diameter. So I know if I know the radius is 10, we've talked about a lot, we can get diameter by doubling it because it goes twice as far. So the height of my triangle is actually going to be, the height of it is going to be 10, and the base of it is going to be 20. Now, if you mix those two numbers up, it really doesn't make a difference for a triangle because it's all multiplication. And so since we're looking at multiplication here, we have commutative property. The order doesn't matter. And we've talked about that before. There's a bunch of ways to use this 1/2, but one of the ways that's fun to use it is if you have a number here that's easy to cut in half, we can just half it. So I know 20 divided by 2 is 10, and this is going to be 10 times 10 now, which is going to be 100 square millimeters. Now that's not my answer. That's only for the triangle part. We want to find for the whole thing. So now we have to deal with the semicircle. So with the semicircle, I know it has a radius of 10, which is good because that's really the only variable I have to figure out for area of a semicircle. So I'm going to fill in the numbers here, 3.14, and radius of 10 squared divided by 2. I know that 10 squared is 10 times 10, and 10 times 10 is 100. Okay, so from here, I need to multiply this times this. Now, if you're in my standard class, we've been talking about estimating these instead of actually solving them. For instance, if this was a multiple choice question on the FCAT, I wouldn't bother to multiply these if it was going to slow me down too much. I might estimate this to be a 3 and then do 3 times 100. So I'm actually going to, let's do it, the real answer and the estimate. So for the estimate, I would just do 3 times 100, which is 300, and then divided by 2, and I can see that 300 divided by 2 is going to be 150. Okay? So my estimate is 150, and you'll see how close it is. If I'm going to multiply it for real, hopefully in my classes we know that multiplying by a power of 10 moves the decimal point 1, 2 times. So this is actually going to be 314 divided by 2, which if we go ahead and do that, we'll find it's going to be 157. So you can see that there was not a big difference. There was not a big difference between the estimate and the real answer. Now, I'm not finished with it. I need to combine them because this is just the semicircle piece and this is the triangle piece. So we need to add them. So I'll do 100 plus 157, or if you're in the standard class, you can just add the 150, and we'll get 257. And the idea is, with the estimate, is that it will save you time, and you'll get close enough that you can pick the correct answer. So I hope this has been helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. If I can't get to you right away, don't hesitate to write down your question. Don't hesitate to write it down so that way when I'm walking around, maybe I can help you more at that time.